how I envy those who watch videos without knowing what goes through them and are just sitting there down munching on chips and drinking that. Oh, we apologize for that crash out right there. That person was just another video editor. But enough about him. You came here to know the effects of video editing on you. Well, you've come to the right place, for here at qbqube Incorporate, we will tell you the exact effects editing videos has on you. Now, before we start, it is important to understand that to edit a video, you have to know what kind of video are you aiming for. Which brings us to our first point, researching. As a video editor, if you think you're gonna be watching videos for the sake of entertainment, oh, you are so wrong. Because from now on, you are watching them as research material. Say goodbye to that laid-back YouTube evening watch where you're just sitting there with your hubby, cuddling and watching YouTube videos for fun. Because now, you need to pull out the pen and paper and start writing down every single thing that appears on your screen. From effects, transitions, to sound effects, and even visual effects. If you don't know them, you gotta make them up. Since you are now the person who's creating the videos, you need to consume as much as possible of the content you are trying to create. Which brings us to the second point. You can never see videos in the same light ever again. Because editing is like magic. Once the trick has been displayed to you, it just does not become entertaining anymore. It might be a 20-minute video and your brain will now be something along the lines of 15 hours worth of content. And if that's not enough, add 10 hours more worth of raw footage. And that brings us to a third point, sound effects. Because video editing is not just simply editing the video.
You need to learn about 10 or so more different hobbies in order to create a single video,
including, but not excluding, sound effects. And if you thought sound effects were not important, think again. Because they are what keeps the viewer's mind attracted. And God forbid you need to search for your own sound effect. You think you know where a sound effect is from, only to find out that it's not from there? Well, better luck next time, buddy. And that brings us to our fourth point, time management. Because what you think is just a 15-second video or a 60-second video might just take you up to 2 hours to make or more. But hey, better luck next time. And moving on to point number 5, and one of my personal favorites, health issues. Because being healthy is for wussies. When you become a video editor, you sign a pact with the devil himself, offering everything that you have in order to sit your ass on that chair and edit like there is no tomorrow. Better luck next time. And that takes us to our 6th point, algorithm. An absolute favorite of the fans and the editors alike. Because if there's anything more inconsistent than my ex-wife, then it has to be the algorithm. You go to sleep one day thinking that a 10-minute video will do wonders, only to find that the next day, the algorithm decided to change itself, and now it's supposed to be 15 minutes plus. After hours of brainstorming with your clients, you finally reach a mutual standpoint of an idea which you think will work wonders for your client, only to find out that the algorithm hates it and also is low-key shadow banning people for doing this idea. Which takes us to the 7th point, technological advancement. With the rise of the new and super duper lovely asset called artificial intelligence, you start to question yourself and your own sanity about why was the last 3 years of my life spent learning this craft when now just bots can do it and post it on YouTube for free retention. Which drags us to the 8th point, editing softwares. Because what is an editor without their most trusty partner, their software? The place that they spend more time on than their entire family and friends. 10 hours into a video edit and you forgot to save? Well, womp womp, you just got fucked. And don't get me even started on trying to implement more than one software into an edit. Which drags us to our 9th point, learning process and improvements. Because just when you thought that you have had enough knowledge to create a video on your own, now you gotta learn more. And even though there are many assets out there for everyone to choose and collect, you can be quite certain that that effect or asset will be used, or rather useful, in your own video. Because we all like a little bit of challenged, don't we? And that gets us to our final point, self-esteem and self-worth. And while this effect can vary between a person and another, one point always stays the same, which is that you will always feel unsatisfied with whatever you will edit, and you can't do anything about it, because that is how human nature works. So congrats on being a video editor, and thank you for hearing those totally 10 legit and authentic tips. And see you next time. Bye bye!